Leonard has declined his $36 million player option for next season, making him a free agent, sources telling Adrian Wojnarowski. However, he's likely staying with the team. Leonard signed a 4-year deal worth just over $176 million this offseason. He's expected to miss significant time this upcoming year due to an ACL injury.
The champagne isn't even dry in Milwaukee, and ready or not, NBA free agency is here. Bobby Marks, our NBA front office insider, joining us now. There's always that big domino, Bobby, that falls, and then sort of everything else falls into place after that. Who's the big domino this year, and what's the impact it's going to be?
Yeah, it's going to be Kyle Lowry. This is a point guard-driven free agent class, and Lowry kind of dictates what all the other different moves other teams are going to be able to do. And I think, for example, a team like the Miami Heat out there who would love to have Lowry. What happens if Lowry goes to the Heat? That kind of dictates a move for Lonzo Ball in New Orleans, potentially Chicago as a suitor. Spencer Dinwiddie's another name out there. Likely we'll see Chris Paul go back to Phoenix and Mike Conley, but Lowry's decision basically will open up the rest of the free agent market here because limited teams with cap space because of COVID. You're looking at teams like the Lakers and the Clippers really with limited money to go out and spend. So all eyes will be on Kyle Lowry. Once he makes that decision, the floodgates will basically open up here. And
yet Miami brought Goran Dragic back on Sunday. So what does that mean?
Yeah, so Miami had two different options to go. They could have operated as a team under the cap. Basically, they would have declined Dragic's option, $19.4 million. They did that with Andre Iguodala. And then they could maybe go out and sign Kyle Lowry outright. They would have had about $27 million. Now they are operating as a team over the cap. So you can go out and trade for Lowry in a sign-in trade, maybe attach another player. The benefit of that is now you have your $9.5 million mid-level exception. So you can get potentially a player like Lowry. You could potentially go out and use that money with another player in free agency. And you also have restricted free agent Duncan Robinson. So it just gives Miami a lot more different options that they maybe didn't have, prior to today.
For the big chips, we expect Chris Paul likely back to Phoenix, Kawhi Leonard likely to stay with the LA Clippers. The Jump will have you covered with a free agency special Monday, 3 Eastern on ESPN. Bobby Marks monitoring the most lucrative job fair in basketball. Thanks, Bobby.
4 seconds away from the start of NBA free agency. Both players and teams have already started positioning themselves for the start. Let's start in LA. Kawhi Leonard opted out with the expectation of negotiating a new deal to stay with the Clippers, as first reported by Yahoo Sports and confirmed by ESPN. Of course, he's coming off that knee surgery. Former Clipper Chris Paul has until midnight Eastern to decide on his $44 million option with the Suns, but Adrian Wojnarowski is reporting that there's optimism that if he does decide against picking it up, that he and Phoenix can reach a new deal to keep the 11-time All-Star in the desert. And after declining Andre Iguodala's $15 million option, making him a free agent, Miami turned around and picked up the $19 million option on Goran Dragic's contract. And there's growing belief that the Heat could use Dragic in a sign-and-trade package with the Raptors to bring Kyle Lowry to South Florida. Well, Lowry is not part of a sign-and-trade. He'll become an unrestricted free agent. His former Raptors teammate DeMar DeRozan, another multi-time All-Star, hitting the free agent market. There's been talk that they're going to reunite somewhere. Notable restricted free agents include John Collins of the Hawks and Lonzo Ball of the Pelicans.
Lonzo Ball in New Orleans. Ball's been linked to a team like Chicago. Does the Pelicans now make it a priority to bring him back? But all the teams that have cap space, when you look at New York, when you look at Dallas, when you look at potentially New Orleans, they are all linked to Lowry, and his decision kind of will set up a little bit of a domino effect in free agency.
Which under-the-radar free agent are you paying close attention to?
It's DeMar DeRozan.
Okay.
31 years old, prime of his career, 8 years in a row of 20-plus points per game. Nobody is talking about DeMar DeRozan right now, and he's another player that's kind of linked to the Lowry decision. If Lowry doesn't go to a team like Dallas, does Dallas now become play? They just opened up some cap space when they traded Josh Richardson to Dallas. Potentially a team like New York that has money to go out and spend, but and also maybe San Antonio where he played last year. Highly unlikely he goes back home to those two LA teams that have been linked to them. They only have the $5.9 million tax mid-level. Highly unlikely he takes a major league pay cut to go win a championship this year.
Interesting how Lowry and DeRozan still linked, still there together. Bob Marks, we appreciate you in a nice jacket, by the way.
We didn't plan it.
No, we didn't. We look good in it. Anna?
Do you now?
Yes, we do.
Trade deadline to big trade in the NBA. New big three, LeBron, AD, and Russell Westbrook. When the deal goes through, Lakers are just going to have 4 players with guaranteed contracts on their roster: LeBron, Westbrook, Anthony Davis, and Marc Gasol. But each is a multi-time All-Star with a combined 37 All-Star appearances between them. Still, they have some work to do to round out that entire roster. ESPN Lakers reporter Dave McMenamin joining us now in SportsCenter. Dave, what's been the reaction in L.A. to this new big three of Westbrook, LeBron, and AD?
Well, Jay, certainly this is a unique type of fit they're trying to put together with LeBron at the stage he is of his career, Anthony Davis, an ascending talent, and then Russell Westbrook tapering off to some degree. Now, on the plus side, I had a league source tell me that, one, Russell Westbrook will be a great influence around Anthony Davis. His intensity is something that can't be denied and should only rub off on AD to take every single night as if it's a do-or-die situation. Also, as LeBron gets up there, year 18, going to turn 37 years old in December, having Russell Westbrook be able to take innings during the regular season, to borrow a Jeff Passan term, be in there and play full bore will allow LeBron, on some extent, to have moments where he doesn't have to carry the load during the regular season. Now, on the flip side, there are some fit questions. Russell Westbrook shot just 31% from 3 last year. They shipped out Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, who was their marquee three-point shooter on their run to the championship in the bubble a couple years ago. And the deal that they didn't do with the Sacramento Kings would have yielded them another shooter in Buddy Hield. So shooting a big question mark here, but certainly, as the LA Times reported, LeBron, Anthony Davis, Russell Westbrook all got together on the same page a couple weeks ago at LeBron's house and said, we'll all sacrifice whatever needs to be done in order to make this work.
So we just saw the team's current roster featuring just the 4 players with the guaranteed contracts. So what's the front office plan for filling out the rest of the roster alongside that new big three?
Well, you start with the guys who they would have the rights to be able to retain to go above the salary cap. Talen Horton-Tucker, they've already tendered a restricted contract, a qualifying contract that would allow him to be a restricted free agent so they can match any deal from the outside. They like him a lot. The second-year guard who they got in the second round a couple years ago. Alex Caruso is a free agent, and that's someone who they've also grown in their program. They would like to keep if the price is right, but they're going to have to look outside, and it's going to be a lot of veteran minimum contract type of guys. The names that you're going to hear are players like Jeff Green, Carmelo Anthony, players of that ilk, guys who have been around a lot who would like to join a potential championship club. And then what do they do with the taxpayer mid-level exception? That's going to be key, vital for what they do. They break it up to try to pay a couple guys above the veteran minimum contract, or do you go after a name like a Patty Mills from San Antonio, a guy with championship experience who is a dead-eye three-point shooter? Because they're going to need to add shooting to this group as much as they're going to just need to add some bodies to fill out a full roster.
Yeah, and LA, once again, the second shortest odds to win the 2022 title behind Brooklyn. Dave McMenamin, good to see you, bro. Let's go Russell Westbrook by the numbers as he gives LA its new big three: LeBron, AD, Westbrook combining for 34 All-Star selections. They'd be the second team to have a trio with that many, along with the 2011 Celtics, who featured Shaq, KG, and Paul Pierce. Gives the Lakers two of the best playmakers of all time, LeBron and Westbrook, combining for 283 career triple-doubles. Westbrook is the all-time leader in that category, LeBron ranking 5th. There's a question, though, how they're going to fit. Dave just talked about it a bit. Westbrook shooting just over 30% from 3 in his career, the second worst all-time among players with 2,000 attempts in an area the Lakers ranked 21st in last season. All right, we get some other notable picks as we get to the NBA draft last night. Cade Cunningham, Big 12 Player of the Year out of Oklahoma State, went number 1 according to the overall to the Pistons, rather. According to ESPN Analytics draft projections, Cunningham has the best chance to become an All-Star in this year's class. The Rockets selecting guard Jalen Green, 2nd overall. He became the second number 1 overall recruit to bypass college. He had 30 points and 7 assists in his lone G League playoff game. USC's Evan Mobley heading to the Cavaliers with the 3rd pick. The big man becoming the first player to win Pac-12 Player of the Year, Freshman of the Year, and Defensive Player of the Year in the same season. Toronto grabbing Scotty Barnes out of Florida State with the 4th pick. Barnes holding opponents to 25% shooting as the primary defender on jump shots last season. That was the best mark in the ACC. And rounding out the top 5, Jalen Suggs going to the Magic. Suggs averaging a D1 best 24 points a game.